The disciples were huddled in fear behind locked doors after the crucifixion of their master. Suddenly, the resurrected Jesus stood among them, bringing a message of peace. But one of them, Thomas, was not there. When the others told him they had seen the Lord, he was filled with doubt. "Unless I see the nail marks in his hands, and put my finger where the nails were, and put my hand into his side, I will not believe," he declared. A week later, as they were gathered once more, Jesus appeared again. This time, Thomas was with them. Jesus turned to him and said, "Put your finger here. See my hands. Reach out your hand and put it into my side. Stop doubting and believe." Humbled and ashamed, Thomas fell to his knees, proclaiming, "My Lord and my God." Jesus then spoke the words that would echo through eternity. "Because you have seen me, you have believed. Blessed are they that have not seen and yet have believed." This is a story not of doubt, but of a faith so desperate for truth that it had to touch the face of God. Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel, where we explore the most profound stories ever told. Today, we're diving into a story that has resonated for 2,000 years. A story about doubt, faith, and a personal encounter that changed everything. We're talking about Thomas, a name that has become synonymous with skepticism. But is that fair? Is his story just about doubt, or is it about something much deeper? Let's set the scene. It's just days after the crucifixion. The disciples are hiding, terrified, grieving, and utterly confused. Their leader, the man they believed was the Messiah, is gone. The dream is over. They lock themselves in a room, fearing the same fate. Suddenly, in a way they can't explain, Jesus is there, standing among them. Not a ghost, but flesh and blood. He shows them the wounds in his hands and his side. Imagine the mix of shock, joy, and overwhelming relief flooding that room. But one person was missing. Thomas. When the others find him later, they're ecstatic. "We have seen the Lord," they tell him. Think about how that must have sounded to Thomas. He's in the depths of despair, and his friends, likely in a state of emotional shock, are telling him something impossible. So he responds with a statement that would define him for centuries. "Unless I see the nail marks in his hands and put my finger where the nails were, and put my hand into his side, I will not believe." Now, let's pause here. Is Thomas being stubborn? Or is he being honest? Maybe he's just heartbroken. He had invested everything in Jesus, and he called them Tiber, the thought of false hope. He needed something tangible, something real. He wasn't asking for more than the others had already received. They saw the wounds. Thomas was simply asking for the same proof. His doubt wasn't born from a place of arrogance, but perhaps from a place of profound grief and a desire for genuine truth. He wanted a personal experience, not just a second-hand report. A week goes by, the disciples are gathered again, and T-Stein Thomas is with them. The doors are still locked, but just as before, Jesus appears in their midst. He looks directly at Thomas. He doesn't scold him. He doesn't shame him. Instead, he offers exactly what Thomas asked for. "Put your finger here. See my hands. Reach out your hand and put it into my side. Stop doubting and believe." This is the pivotal moment. Jesus meets Thomas right where he is, in his doubt. He doesn't demand blind faith. He provides the evidence Thomas felt he needed. And how does Thomas respond? The Bible doesn't actually say he touched the wounds, the sheer presence of Jesus. The love in that invitation was enough. All his doubt melts away, and he makes one of the most powerful declarations of faith in the entire Bible. "My Lord and my God." This wasn't just an acknowledgement that Jesus was alive. It was a profound statement of his divinity. Thomas, the skeptic, the doubter, was the first disciple to explicitly call Jesus God. His journey through doubt led him to a deeper, more personal revelation than perhaps any of the others. Then Jesus says something for all of us, for every person who would come after. "Because you have seen me, you have believed. Blessed are those who have not seen and yet have believed." This isn't a criticism of Thomas. It's a promise and a blessing for the future, for you and for me. It's an acknowledgement that faith isn't always easy, especially without physical proof. So what's the takeaway from the story of Doubting Thomas? It's not just a warning against skepticism. It's a beautiful illustration of how God is patient with our questions. It shows us that it's okay to have doubts, as long as we are sincerely seeking the truth. Honest questions don't push God away. They can actually draw us closer to Him. Thomas's story teaches us that a faith that has been tested by doubt can emerge stronger, more personal, and more profound. It transforms from "we believe" to "I believe." It moves from hearing about God to knowing Him personally. His journey is a reminder that faith isn't the absence of doubt, but the courage to seek answers and to trust even when we can't see. It's a story that gives hope to every single person who has ever had a question, who has ever felt uncertain. It tells us that Jesus meets us in our doubt and loves us through it, inviting us into a deeper understanding and a more resilient faith. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey today. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and share it with someone who might need to hear it. And do you forget to subscribe and click the notification bell so you miss our next exploration into these timeless stories. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, take care.